So, hello everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of On the Couch with Rachel. Today, I have a very, very special guest. He is a gentleman that I met, believe it or not, on TikTok, but he's an Irish folk singer from County Offaly and he lives in County Dublin. Correct me if I'm wrong. His name is Seamóg Buckley, and I am sure you're going to enjoy this conversation as much as I feel like I am. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself, Seamóg, and let the people know who you are and where you're from. I know I've given you a wee bit of a background there, but give us a wee bit more information about who you are.
Well, good morning, Rachel.
Good
And I'm
morning.
absolutely honoured to be on your show.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me. My name is Seamóg Buckley, and I come from a little place called Pulla in County Offaly. Yes, I do a bit of singing and do a bit of recording, and I do a bit of TikToking. And that's where I met Rachel, a lovely, lovely girl. And yeah, and I absolutely love it. I love the TikToking and I love the music and I love the track.
Great. And when did you start the music?
Well, I recorded an EP back in 1989 for Tullamore General Hospital for an echocardiography unit.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first taste of music. And since that, Rachel, I've absolutely loved it. Yeah, so I'm after recording. I recorded an album there last year for Liberty Soup Run, which is a charity organisation here in Dublin City
Mm-hmm.
to help out the homeless.
Lovely.
And they're fantastic.
Amazing.
So we had a big night down in the Noggin Inn, and yeah, we gathered up a few pound and had the crack.
Brilliant. Did I
We
say
had
that you've reached the charts recently? Is that something that happened?
well, sure. Look at every day is a different day, Rach. I recorded a song here, Little White Cross, here last last year, just coming to the end of the year, and we done a video, and it has reached over 300,000 people. Has reached in on TikTok.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable,
That's amazing.
unbelievable. For a little lad from Poland, you know what I mean? To go recording and get that many views and likes and shares, it's just unbelievable.
It's unreal, isn't it? It's amazing.
It's unreal.
But isn't
Yeah.
it great to see that no matter what stage of your life you're at, you can still reach these heights of success and have so much joy going on?
Well, do you know something, Rachel? In my wildest dreams, I never thought I'd be able to do something like this. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But it's only when you come on in years and you're looking for a hobby. I'm retired since 2017. I retired early, and I'm 67 now. And when I started this TikTok and music and all this, it was a kind of I was kind of brought into it with this Liberty Soup Run. And then a cousin of mine said, "So we might as well go record Stephen Rossney from the Rossney family." And we went to record and I have another two songs recorded. And I look at them, absolutely
You're
love it.
buzzing.
Yeah, buzzing is right, buzzing.
That's class. And on the back of that, then you've started a TikTok account, which is also reaching dizzying heights. You've almost how many followers now?
I started this last October, 10,000 followers.
Unreal.
I have 1.7 million people that's after looking at my page.
Oh my.
1.7 million.
And that they're all 1.7 million actual pairs of eyes. Like that's just not a number on a screen. That's a real thing.
That is the real thing, Rachel.
Isn't
Yeah.
that unbelievable?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And
I
so
have
tell us,
people
go ahead, sorry.
I have people from all over the world joining.
Hmm.
And it's amazing.
So sorry, say that again, Shimog, about your TikTok presence. You've got 1.7 million views.
1.7 million views between views and shares and likes. It's unbelievable.
And these are people from all over the world.
All over the world. I remember I was doing Liberty Superroom was doing a swim out in the north side of Dublin. It was an early morning, it was around 5 o'clock. And I said to Chris, as I am going to go live. I went live, Rachel. And within 2 minutes, I had 4,000 people joining me.
What?
They were from all America, everywhere. At that hour of the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Amazing.
Unbelievable.
Amazing.
Unbelievable.
Well, that's where I discovered you. Whenever I was scrolling through TikTok, I've started doing lives myself recently, and it's just for the crack. It started actually out for me. I was trying to find ways of, reaching new people to let them know what I do for a living, which is counselling. Um,
Yes.
and I was in between, getting myself set up as a counselor. So I thought, right, well, TikTok, maybe it's the way to go forward. So I tried it out, and as a result, I ended up discovering you, which I stopped in my tracks because I heard awfully mentioned, and I went into your live, and it turned out that we know mutual friends. We have mutual friends, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, from Ballycumber.
yeah. So it was just like one of those moments where you're like, God, it's a small world. Me sitting
And how
scrolling through
small,
TikTok.
how small is that, Rachel?
Unreal, unreal.
In a million years, only you were on TikTok,
I
and
know,
I was on TikTok.
I
No
know.
one had ever known about
We
this.
would have never met. And then we've also, I've met or gotten to know some of your followers who have then come over and followed me and listened to my first episode. And so it's just such a lovely organic way to grow um
Yeah.
groups of friends, isn't it? It's just
It's
amazing.
a- yeah, but the friends that you have is very loyal,
Yeah, yeah,
Rachel. I have friends on TikTok from day one, and you know something? They are so loyal and so they are your answer been on my lives, and you know
yeah,
the crack
yeah.
with them. They're unbelievable,
Oh, there's
and I
there's some
love the
amount of
crack.
Gideon done.
Say that again.
There's an awful amount of Gideon beast done.
Well, there is, but you have to have the crack, Rachel. Life
Oh,
is very short, you know.
absolutely. Yeah, it's that's one of the reasons why I stopped actually is because of your sort of your energy, your vivacious personality. That's one of the reasons why I stopped. That we laugh is infectious.
Well, thank you. But
Um,
anyway, do you know when you say there about life is so short? I remembered there was 11 of us in family. There was 21 in my father's family.
my
There was
God.
10 in my mother's.
Wow.
And myself and my mother were like the Siamese twins. Were joined at the hip, both of us. And that's where I get this energy. And she was just an amazing, amazing woman. Oh my
And where
God
do you
Almighty!
come in the family, Seamóg?
Uh, I'm the eldest,
You're the oldest. Very good.
the oldest. Yeah, yeah. But look, we had some crack going up. Oh my God! Yeah, but we had some hard times too, Rachel. People think that, oh, sure, look at this was great. Yeah, but there was only my father working at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And there was 11 of us in family, and every year there was either a confirmation or a communion, or maybe two confirmations or two communions, or a confirmation and a communion. There was always something going on, and my father, the only way he could make a few pounds was working board Lamona. He worked on board Lamona for 40 years, and then in the summertime he'd be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. We'd be all on the ball,
Mm-hmm.
cutting turf to try and make a few pounds. That's the only way he could make a few pounds for clothes and that for all of us. It was hard times now at times.
And it's so funny how you're like, isn't it lovely that you've got such lovely memories and you've got such happy memories and a joyful childhood and a joyful upbringing, but there were so many hard times behind all that too.
Oh, Rachel, look at hard times. Well, you can imagine the hard times that I had were growing up. Well, hard now, as in that it was hard for my mother and hard for my father to rear 11 of us. But you can imagine my granny and grandfather
Mm.
rearing 21.
That's an awful
Do you know
amount of
what? And all they had that time was the
kids.
bog to try and feed them for a year. Oh, look at it, it wasn't easy now.
No, I'm sure.
And then there was no running water or toilets in my grandparents' house at that time.
Hmm.
You know, it was only an old well down in the middle of the bog.
A very, very different way of life, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, but Rachel, the one thing we did do, we appreciated every minute.
Hmm.
And then, do you know what we had? We had, when I was growing up in Pullout, we had unbelievable neighbours. Oh my God Almighty. They were unreal, unreal.
You had your village around you, didn't you, back then?
Oh, well, they say it takes a village to rear a child. Do you ever see that program? Takes a
Oh,
village
I
to
have
rear a
heard it
child.
many, many times, and I
Yeah.
still
Well,
believe it does.
do you know something now? That was exactly the way it was back then, because everyone looked after everyone. The doors in the house was open. You could walk into any house in Pulla, any house, and you could go in and make a cup of tea for yourself, or you could get a slice of corn cake or a slice of brown bread. Oh, it was unbelievable, unbelievable.
And
Amazing, amazing people.
looking back at those times, I suppose it does make you appreciate how
Oh,
important that village was and how much everyone depended on each other.
yes. And everyone had one another, Rachel. If someone hurted themselves playing football or anything like that, and it was tough to be taken home for the winter final, everyone had, everyone got behind that person and brought home the turf and put it into the shed and all that. Oh, look, they were amazing, amazing people.
Unbelievable. And is there still that community feel down in Pulla, or whereabouts are you now,
Un-
Seamóg?
Unbelievable, unbelievable. They are amazing, amazing people. I've never, I'm after traveling a lot, but I've never seen nothing like it. Never.
Well, fair play
Now, and
then.
I know there's all different communities, but there's something about the Pulla people. They're just unbelievable.
They're just a
Yeah.
different type of person.
Different breed altogether. Different
Oh,
breed. Yeah.
well, that's good because it's not often you get that, in modern day, life's so fast and busy and people are so into their own, lives and so we often were, and I'm guilty of it myself. We often forget to like look around us and see, like just appreciate to slow down and take a beat and look around and see who needs a bit of help or who needs, maybe you need a bit of help. And do you find it easy to ask for help now in the same way that you would have back then?
Well, you know something, Rachel? I remember, I remember the time when my marriage broke up, and that was one of the toughest times I ever went through. For the simple reason was, I had two kids,
Mm-hmm.
and to try and explain to them that things was going to be all right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was I'd say one of the most hardest times in my life. You know, when you have a child getting up in the morning to go to school and they're crying, looking for their mammy and looking for this, and you trying to console them and your heart breaking at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was different times, Rachel, but there was no counsellors or nothing like that at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
So when did
You
that
have to.
happen, Seamóg?
That was back in 1994.
And were your kids very young at the time?
Uh, nine, 9 and 11, I think. 9 and 11 or 9 and 12. 9 and 11, yeah. 9 and 11. And that was a tough time. But look at we got through it and the kids now today is growing up and I have grandkids and I have 7 grandkids and you know and myself and the ex-wife we get on the finest now.
Good,
You know what
good.
I mean? We had to get on because the kids is growing up. What people don't understand, Rachel, is no matter what hardship you're going through yourself, you're an adult.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have small kids, that's where the hurt comes in.
Yeah.
You have to put your little arms around them and hug them and hold them and try and console them and explain to them that everything's going to be all right, even though your heart's breaking for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But look at it's not easy. It's not easy on families breaking up. But I see an awful lot of families when they go that they don't think about the kids. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? The bitterness, the bitterness, and they use the kids as a weapon, if you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's
And
really
that
sad.
and
Yeah.
that and that is terrible wrong on the kids.
Yeah.
Because no matter what goes on between a man and a woman, no matter what goes on between them, you have to understand that kids will be kids and that will affect them forevermore.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that's their childhood and that's their memories.
And that's it. And do you know something else, Rachel? I'm going to say I've always had a mighty relationship with their grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
I've always made sure that the kids had that relationship with the grandkids. Always. And I
Yeah.
had a relationship that I went over and I could go in and drink a cup of tea. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's very, very important. It's
Yeah.
very important in their eyes that everyone gets on. Because
Absolutely.
You have not only, you have holy communions, you have confirmations, you have weddings,
Mm-hmm.
you have all this, you have parties, you have all them things, Rachel, and all them things matter to them kids,
I know, and they're their
and
memories, like I say.
matter in a big way,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
an awful lot more than you think, because they'll be questioning you every step of the way, and
Yeah.
you have to have an answer for them. You can't just turn around and say, "Ah, no, it's okay."
Mm-hmm.
You have to, when they ask you a question, you have to be able to answer that for them. And the one thing I'm going to say is answer the truth. But the one thing I'm going to say is I was never bitter.
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever. I was hurt, but I was never bitter.
Well, fair play to you, Seamóg. I'm sure your children appreciate that honesty
Well,
and
that,
that openness and that kindness
well,
that you showed.
I hope they do, because I tried everything for them.
Mm-hmm.
I tried everything.
Yeah. And back then, Seamóg, I talk to my clients about who their support systems are and who do they lean on? And you said like at that time there was no counselling, there was no, or if there was, it certainly wasn't made available to you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it is, thank God, it is a lot more readily available nowadays, although it's expensive and people can't just access it as easily as they would need to sometimes, a lot of the time. But back then, what would you say was your support system? Did you have your own family or friends, or who did you lean on?
Yes, I had family, and I had amazing friends. Amazing.
Good.
Absolutely. And even today, I can pick up that phone and I can say, "Can I chat to you if I have a problem?"
Yeah.
But thank God, I worked my way out of it, and the help of those people, they do not understand the help they were to me, and my family,
Yes, I know.
because when you have two small kids, and it's hard to try and keep explaining to them, and their question and question and question, and you have to be very, very honest with them. And you
Yeah,
have to be very truthful to them, because if you tell a child a lie, they will always think you're telling lies.
that's right.
Yeah.
You have to establish that trust with them, don't you?
Oh yeah. And no matter what, and there was days that you didn't even want to get out of bed, Rachel.
Mm.
I have to be honest with you. There was days I did not want to get out of bed, but I had to get out for my kids.
I can imagine.
I had to get out, and the stress and the pain that was going through your body was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the only good thing that I had was I had a mighty circle of friends around about.
And I'm sure you're so grateful for that now.
Oh, look at the, I do thank them every time I meet them.
Oh God.
Every time I meet them, I thank them for everything they've done for me.
It's so lovely. So lovely to know
Oh,
that and
yeah.
recognize it. And the fact is, Shimog, you're a very open person, it seems as well, that you're all on your lives and on, any interactions I've had with you. You're a very honest man and you seem to be very open about your feelings, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you, because I know that you'll inspire listeners here to be open and honest with their feelings and that there's no shame in it. There's no shame in saying that you're having a bad day, that you can
Rachel,
lean on help.
Rachel, there's no shame whatsoever, because I tell you why. No matter, no matter what, your mental health is very important to you.
Hmm.
Only I had them circle of friends to talk to, I would have definitely went off the rails altogether.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's so important to lean in on your friends and your family or
Oh,
whatever your support system is. Um, and like I spoke to my previous guest about the statistics. Unfortunately, men seem to find it very difficult at times to open themselves out and talk about their feelings. And hopefully that is changing, and hopefully people will realize that there isn't shame and that it is okay to ask for help. But unfortunately, it is still something that I think men find a little bit harder than women do. So hopefully that is going to change soon. And hopefully people listening to this will realize that Seamóg Buckley is 67 and he's been through a lot in his life and he's been able to ask for help and still can.
yeah, but you know something, Rachel, that if you don't look for the help, if you don't speak to someone, it will drive you insane.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's very, very important for men of any age. I'm not just saying older or younger, of any age that's going through a tough time, to pick up that phone and speak to someone. And even if it's like yourself, to go to a counsellor that knows exactly how they're feeling, how they can get help, all the help they need, and how to get out of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
The only way I got out of the situation was that I had great friends around about me,
Mm-hmm.
and I was always there for the kids. So when they came to 17 or 18 years of age, I was able to say, look, at this is it now. Seamóg has to make a new life for himself.
Uh-huh.
So that's where it goes,
Yeah.
Rachel.
Seamóg, before we go any further, I just want to bring you back to earlier you were speaking to me about the relationship you had with your mum. And it was a very endearing conversation to tell me about how you and her were like Siamese twins. You were joined at the hip and you got on so well, you being the oldest of 11 kids. Tell me a wee bit more about your mum's relationship because I know that when we were talking prior to recording, you were just saying how much it meant to you and how much she meant to you.
Yeah, well, you see, we were always, because I was the eldest, right? So there was always something. There was always crack in the house. There was always something. There was always banter. There was always messing. But because I was the oldest, if we were going to the bog, me and her go to the bog. If there was potatoes to be picked, someone wanted potatoes picked, they were going to get a few pounds, me and her go. So no matter what was going on, there was always something. And she was a mighty support to me, Rachel, when my marriage broke up.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, she couldn't do enough for me. She was she'd go to town and she'd come back and she'd have a cooked chicken for me. You know, little things like that.
Yeah.
And she'd say, "Now make sure you don't eat all that and have some for the kids when they come home." But she was just unbelievable.
Hmm.
But in the latter years, then when it was my turn to treat her, I'd always treat her when I'd be going down from Dublin. She'd ring me and say, "When are you coming down?" I'd say, "Be down. Don't forget the sweets." She was a diabetic,
Uh-huh.
but she loved the sweets. Oh my God! But I remember one Christmas, I was after bringing her down the box of sweets and a full box now, and I said to her, "No, mommy, don't eat them." So I wasn't halfway home. The next thing the brother rang me, said she was gone into a coma after eating the whole box.
Oh, stop it. You're kidding
Yeah,
me. Oh no.
but she was great. Yeah, but she was a mighty help to me. When I was going through a lot of things, a lot of stuff now. Did even when I was growing up, when I'd be going to school, there was lads to be looking for fights and all that because I was small, you see,
Hmm.
and they'd be trying to bully. And so I made my mind up. I said, I'm not going to bully, or no one's going to bully me. So I went home and I told my mother. And my mother says, Seamóg, we'll make a man out of you.
Uh-huh.
And she says to me, let no one ever bully you. And from that day to this, Rachel, no
Yeah.
one has ever bullied me.
Yeah.
Because, growing up, people people back then was an awful lot tougher than they are today.
Hmm.
But I never let one bully me from that day.
Yeah.
Once I got the go ahead from my mother, that was the reassurance I needed.
That was all you needed to keep you
That's
going.
all I needed because
Oh,
once she gave me the go ahead, no matter who throws the fist up to you, Shemo, you make sure that they never throw them up again.
there you go. Isn't that
So
class?
that was class. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've even noticed that, and that leads me on to my next question, actually, about criticism. How do you take criticism? Because I've noticed on your TikTok lives, and I do them myself, and you sometimes get the odd person on who's just trying to antagonize or trying to say something mean or trying to get a reaction out of you, and you deal with it so well. So I just wanted to ask, that lends itself to how do you cope with criticism, and do you get much of it online?
I do get a bit of it now, Rachel, but the way I deal with people like that is if someone comes on to me to criticize me and they don't know me,
Mm.
I can't understand why they're criticizing me
Yeah.
because things like that don't bother me. I don't. There was a time things used to bother me, but when you get on in years and
Mhm.
you realize that the people that's trying to antagonize you and trying to belittle you and all that, that doesn't bother me anymore. I couldn't care less what anyone says about it.
Yeah.
That that kind of things don't bother me.
Yeah.
And what I do, the way I do deal with that is that I owe no one anything in life, and no one owes me anything in life.
Hmm.
So the way I deal with people is, if someone done a good turn for me, I'll always appreciate that, and I'll always do a good turn for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if someone comes on that I don't know and is trying to slate me or slate some of my family or slate this, I just ignore them.
Yeah.
Because if I got into a debate with them, that's all they want is a
Hmm.
debate.
Hmm.
And if you get into a debate with someone, they will bring you to your knees.
Yeah.
And that's one thing you never do in life. You never stoop low for anyone.
Yeah. You don't
And that's
engage with
one thing I
anyone.
learned, Rachel.
Mm.
That's one thing I learned. You
Yeah.
do not stoop low for anyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if someone does you a bad turn, don't ever, ever, ever let them do you a bad turn again.
Yeah.
That's the time to pull the plug.
Yeah.
Because people like that in your life is no good.
No. And you just detach yourself from them and move on with peace and hope.
Now you have it.
Yeah.
Because if you deal with people like that, they will wreck your head every day of the week.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, you have
And
to
that,
move on and like I said, detach with love or detach with peace. Because to carry, like you said earlier about bitterness, you didn't carry bitterness. It's only going to eat you up inside, isn't it? If you carry bitterness from
well, that's
towards
it.
other people.
That's really and truly, that's all it does, Rachel.
Yeah,
That's all it does.
yeah,
And you'll never be able to get, you'll never make a life for yourself. You'll never make a life for your family. You'll
yeah.
never make a life for your extended family
Hmm.
because you'll always be in a state of depression.
And that's
You're
it.
wondering what
It's so true.
you're wondering what other people is thinking about you, what they're saying about you.
Hmm. Because you're so fixated on what other people think that you forget to what you
Oh,
think yourself,
now you have
and you forget to think for yourself because all you're doing is thinking for other people.
it. Mm.
And it's something again that I use in counseling, sessions with clients is, and I like I've referred to it myself and how I've been to a counselor, and how they helped me recognize this is, you got to stay in your own lane. You've got to keep your eyes on your own sort of goals in your own life because if you're constantly looking around you to compare yourself to other people, sure, you're not living your own life.
And that is the truth. That is the truth, Rachel. Because if someone done something to you today, and you have the intention of saying, well, look at, I'll keep an eye out for that lad now, and I'll keep an eye out for this, and I'll keep an eye out for that. You're always looking over your shoulder.
That's
You
right.
can
Yeah.
never, you will never, ever be able to have peace.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot to be said for having peace, isn't there, Seamóg?
Oh, look at Rachel. The peace, when things happen in my marriage, I thought, my God, where am I going to head? What am I going to do? Things work out for a reason.
Hmm.
There's always a reason behind everything, Rachel.
Yeah.
Always. There's always a reason, even driving a car and you take a wrong road, a wrong turn. There is always a reason.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that's why in life there is always a reason. And if you don't grasp life, you see the way I look at it is, Rachel, you get one owl bite of this cherry,
That's right.
and that's one owl bite of this life.
Yeah.
And if you cannot make the best of it, no one else can.
Absolutely. And I think you're right in saying that about the car. It's a lovely analogy because it applies to everything in life. If you take the wrong turn, if you don't get that job, if you don't get that promotion, if that relationship doesn't work, you know, and while it's tough at the time and while it can break your heart and devastate you at the time, there's always a lesson to be learned in it, isn't there? There's always something to be gained from it if you
Well,
just keep going.
that road, Rachel, there is always a turn in that road.
Mm,
That road that you turn off and you're beating yourself up. Oh, I shouldn't have turned that road. I'm gone the wrong road. Go the wrong road. Turn around and come back.
yeah,
There's no point of beating yourself up over little things that really don't matter in your life.
yeah. Yeah. And
You
I think it
know,
takes you to grow older and have life experiences to realize that. And, I just wish maybe you had that wisdom when we were younger, but that's when you're learning all your lessons is when you're younger. Um,
yes.
that you learn to care less about other people's opinions, and you learn what really matters and what really doesn't,
Yes.
So no, go
But
ahead.
you know something, Rachel, laughter and music is two of the best medicines that anyone can have.
Yeah, I agree. A good laugh, a good belly laugh, and a good dance and a
Oh,
good sing song.
people to say, uh, a lot that lad's fierce serious. But no one knows what's going through that man's mind.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? He could have major, major problems,
Yeah,
but they never turn around and say, "Are you all right?
yeah.
Can I help you? Can I do something for you?
Hmm.
Do you want to talk?" They'll always slate someone. They'll never turn around and say, "My God, Paddy's going through a bad old time. I go down and say hello to him. I'll sit down and have a cup of tea with him."
Hmm.
And that's all people need
Yeah, it's a bit more
at
humanity.
times.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's all people need at times. Is just if you sit down with someone and they're going through a bad day, they will, and you're going to have a cup of tea with them, they will leave everything on that table to you.
And it make all the difference to their day for having gotten that off their chest.
Now you have it. Now you have it, Rachel.
Hmm. Yeah, it'll make them
Exactly.
feel a bit lighter, won't it?
Oh, look at, and he will thank you when you're going out that door. Thanks very much for calling.
Yeah, yeah. You
Thank you.
appreciate it. Yeah,
And make sure you call again.
yeah. No, that's lovely. And in terms of that, Seamóg, um, I was just going to give you like a few last quick fire questions that I am hoping to ask all my guests. So I want to ask you if you could go back to younger Seamóg and you can pick that age, whatever it might be, what would you say to him and why?
Well, I'd say, Jim, I wouldn't change anything here, Rachel.
Hmm.
I would not. I would for my children.
Yes, okay.
Right. I wouldn't like to see my kids hurt the way they were hurt.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So that's that end of things. But I would not change. I'm in a relationship now for the last 30 years with an absolutely gem of a woman.
It's great.
And I would not change that for the world.
Mhm.
We're after seeing a lot of the world now, myself and her. And my family gets on fears well with her, my kids gets on fears well with her, grandkids gets on fears, and they all get on well together. And you know something? That is the only thing I would change. I would change that end of things with my kids. That's the only thing. Other than that, I'm after having a magnificent life.
And
I've met,
if you were to meet young Seamóg on the playground in school, what would you say to him?
I'd say Seamóg, at the time, I'd say Seamóg, toughen up.
Toughen up.
Mm.
Good stuff. And if you had any advice for someone going through similar difficulties that you've talked about today, like a marriage breakdown or maybe grief of losing a parent or any of the difficult things being bullied, what would you say to someone who's listening to this now, who's gone through those things and in that pain at the moment? What would your advice be to them?
Well, my advice is always speak to someone
Hmm.
because there is always someone out there you can speak to. Always.
Hmm.
If it's not a counselor, let it be a family member, a friend, a relation, or someone. There is always someone that'll have an ear to listen.
Yeah.
But make sure that when you go to someone, that you are going to someone that's going to turn around and say, "Well, look at Jimo, this is the way you should do things." You don't want someone that's going to go, "Oh, so that's terrible, Jimo." And next thing he goes on and he tells everyone in the parish, and everyone in the parish is laughing at Jimo.
Yes.
That is something that you do not want.
No.
You want to pick someone that you can trust and rely on.
Yes. It's very important.
Let
You
me,
just don't go out and
very,
chat to
very
anyone about it.
important.
Hmm.
Very, very important, Rachel. Very.
Yeah.
And my
But,
advice is, me really and truly now with the way that things are at the minute, I would go to a counsellor. If I was starting over again, if it was now, Rachel,
hmm.
I would definitely go to a counsellor.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, thank
And I,
you.
I, I
And go ahead.
I would have I would have But I know my kids got counselling and all that. But I would have, for myself, for my
Hmm.
own well-being and everything, I would have definitely gone to a counsel if there was counsel around at the time.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much. I want to just ask you one last question. What is
Yeah.
next for Seamóg Buckley?
Well, hopefully, I'm going to do a podcast. Myself and the cousins talking about. Uh, where that's going to lead us, Rachel, I haven't a clue.
Oh, I can only imagine where that might lead.
I'm enjoying life. I'm loving the crack, and I love meeting people, and I love taking the piss out of people. You know that yourself. You see me
Oh,
on
I,
TikTok,
yeah.
and I would not change that for the world,
Hmm.
because that is me now,
Hmm.
and that has always been me. All growing up, I've always been like that, and
Yeah.
always been a messer. But I will never change that, and I hope to God that I live to be about 80 years of age. If I get to 80 years of age, I'll be happy.
Good stuff. Well, whenever you do start your podcast, will you share the details with us?
I most certainly will. And Rachel, all I can say to you is that I hope your podcast absolutely flies it for you, because you're an absolute lady.
Thank you
And
so much.
thanks a million for having me on your podcast.
Well,
And I
thank
hope to
you.
God, I hope to God that I've been some benefit to someone. If it's only one person
Mhm.
out there, I hope I have been benefit to someone.
Absolutely. That's exactly why I'm doing this, is that if one person can get some semblance of hope or a little pearl of wisdom or a wee bit of encouragement from any of my guests, that's all I can wish for. And yeah, I mean, thank you so, so much, Seamóg, for coming on. And it's been a pleasure to meet you virtually. And someday I hope we'll meet in real person and we'll have a wee sing song and a bit of a dance and a bit of crack.
Well, Rachel, thanks a million.
Thank
And
you.
take care to you and your family. And God bless you all. And the last thing I'll say to you is up Tyrone.
Thank you so much.
God bless you.
All
Take
right,
care. God
Shimog,
bless.
take
Take
care.
care.
I'll
Bye
chat to you
bye.
in a
Bye
bit.
bye.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.